Anton, our head of security.
Oh, I just went live now. I was streaming, but I wasn't live. Okay, so happy Friday, everybody. Welcome to the zkSync Weekly Rollup. We were live once, and now we're live again. So, Sisyphos, you want to kick it off with our intro once again?
Sure. Happy to go again. Hello, everyone. Um, GM, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are. Welcome to the fourth edition of the zkSync Weekly Rollup. It's a bit of a special edition today. I'm here live from EEP Lisbon. You can see a few people from our team behind me. I'm CC Post, the community manager. I'm here with the Expana, also the other community manager, Anthony, our head of engineering, and Anton, our head of security. Welcome everyone. We see all these highs from South Africa, from all over the world. Thank you very much, everyone, for tuning in.
Yeah, it's
Um,
great to have you here.
yeah, always a pleasure. Um, Today, we all know that it's a special day. We have the launch of Baby Alpha, and it's a pleasure to have our guests with us to discuss a bit Baby Alpha, what activity is going to happen on Mainnet, what activity is happening on Testnet. So let's start that and with our guest Anthony and Anton. Brandon, if you want to take over from there.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you guys want to both, whoever, Anthony, if you want to start off first, our head of engineering, I think many people have seen you across our community on our Twitter spaces and all the different events that we've had. If you want to just give a quick high level and then kind of get started into what's going on today and what's going on with zkSync 2.0.
Sure, sounds good. I'll maybe do a quick introduction and then let Anton do the same. We can chat about some of the activities of today and probably touch on a few things coming in the future. Yeah, I'm Anthony Rose, head of engineering. I joined Matter Labs about I think 8 months ago at this point, so I feel like I should still be new, but I think I'm probably here more than a reasonable fraction of the company at this point, given how quickly we're growing. Joined after 4 years at SpaceX and some other places in the tech industry, but all the Web2 stuff. I've been following crypto since about 2013, back when I think I first heard about Bitcoin during my postdoc. And at some point, just have to jump in professionally when you can't stop thinking about this thing. So, Anton, I don't know if you want to introduce yourself.
Absolutely. Thank you, Anthony. Hey, I'm Anton. I've joined Matter Labs in May. I've been through various places, some startups, probably spent most time at Google, 7 years in total or so. It's very hard to recollect by now. Mostly working around security and privacy, all things around security, offensive, defensive, response, competitive hacking, and so on. Most recently, before joining Matter Labs, I was with Definity, also on the security side, obviously.
Great. It's great to have you guys here. And just really quick before we get started, I know that mine from practice, my microphone might have some weird sound stuff. So this is our first round testing this out. So we apologize if there's any weird audio things this time around. We'll take in that feedback and we'll make things better from here. But let's continue on. So Anthony and Anton, do you want to give us some information? What's going on today? What's so exciting about today and what's happening?
Yeah, of course. So today's a big one for us. It is day 100 on a 100-day journey. So the end of a sort of series of public commitments we put on our roadmap back, 100 days ago, whatever that was, sometime I think mid-July or August. But essentially, to take a step back to kind of what we were doing at that point, we had the system on zkSync version 2 on public testnet for a few months at that point. And as you might imagine, internally, we had an engineering roadmap. And our roadmap was really around answering the question about how we take the system to mainnet. What are the sort of set of things we need to do to get a very, definitely an MVP, like the alpha version of the system. But what do we need to do to get it live? We organized ourselves around several milestones. Each of them was sort of a iterative improvement on the system where a major upgrade was being deployed in some direction. You probably saw these. There was the sort of rebuild of the virtual machine. There was the fee model. Obviously, proof integration came to testnet relatively recently. And today is the big one. So it's the deployment of the closed version of the system to mainnet. So it will be the case that we have zkSync version 2 running on Mainnet, running on Ethereum. But to be very clear, it's in a very restricted state. The only people who will have access to the system in terms of being able to use it work at Matter Labs. And it's really a period for us to really sort of think through security. We've got a bunch of stuff in that direction, which I think Anton is obviously very well placed to speak to in more detail. Really harden the system, test everything that we've got in production, and really, for us to start to shoulder the early risk of running the system on Mainnet and get it ready for sort of prime time, where we will be able to onboard development teams, which is the next milestone. So for the next milestone, there'll still be no final users. Really, we've had this registration period. The projects can sign up. We will have access via our bridge only for those teams who have kind of gone through this development onboarding process. But at some point, we will open the system for teams to be able to deploy. They can start up their applications, get everything ready. And then for us, the kind of question was, how do we have this fair launch? So we'll have this period where development teams can deploy their systems, and kind of everyone has that period in parallel. And then at the same time, we'll get to the next milestone, at which point we'll sort of reduce the restrictions on the bridge, and users can kind of bridge into the system. All the applications kind of go live simultaneously. But today is step one of Mainnet for us, and definitely lots to do, both in terms of understanding the security posture better, hardening the system further. And then, the question is, how do we get out of alpha, and how do we really get the system into be sort of a full production system? And definitely a lot more to do to get there.
Amazing. Well, I think we can easily speak on the behalf of the community of just like thank you for everything that the engineering team has put into this, especially, and of course the zkSync team as a whole, but just especially something as big as today. Just thank you for all that you and your team has done to get us to this point.
Yeah, and I think on behalf of the engineering team, we would like to say thank you to the community because we've learned a huge amount from the public testnet, and we are much better for it, and continue to learn things. Even this week we're still learning things about how the system performs under scale, under load. So yeah, definitely the feeling is mutual.
Awesome. And so we have this like staged releases, right? We were talking about baby alpha, bear launch, and then full alpha. And so I think a lot of that stems from this like security mindset that we always have. Anton, do you have anything that you want to add about like the decisions that we've made here and why this might be like why we chose this design, this direction versus just going, hey, everybody, come on board?
Sure. I mean, we're in the crypto space. Security is quite important. It is something that if you neglect it, it's a game over. So it is extremely important to take things slowly and be very, very careful about things we're doing, and make sure we do everything possible to protect our system, to build it securely. For the security, it's just the beginning of the journey. And we, of course, it has started quite a while ago. We are doing our internal audits. It doesn't even start with internal audits. It starts even before we start writing the first line of code. We need to first design the system securely. We look at the architecture of and the list of planned features and so on and so forth, and only then we start implementing. And once things are in a good shape and we feel good to push them to the testnet, we start doing our internal reviews and security audits and so on. But that's not where it ends. We are doing external security audits. We are running public security contests, and we're actually going to kick off one of them publicly today in a few hours. And that's not the end, of course. Once the system is in this alpha state, this is the time for the security team to discover anything that we that we actually want to discover before the system is fully open for everyone, before any significant amount of funds is locked into the system and any security issue has tremendous impact. We really want to catch things early, and this is the main reason why we're doing this kind of a staged release, and not just that the features being developed. It's the security. That is the in the center of all of this process.
Awesome. Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. I think a lot of users don't have that type of mindset. And so it's important for us to have that reminder that, especially like when you started off, we're in crypto. And that is like kind of the first thing. And all you really need to hear from there is like, okay, yeah, so we got to be more secure with the way we move forward. I so I think that is a good segue for us. We've clearly, Anthony had mentioned, we've clearly seen a lot of some interesting tests the last few days and some interesting activity on testnet. I think some people are newer to the space and might not understand fully, like what's the difference between a testnet and a mainnet? Why do we have these things? And yeah, what's the difference between them?
Yeah, good question. So I would say the main difference, and I mean, really for us and testnets, we have multiple testnets. So we have internal testnets, developers are even able to stand up a local testnet, which is sort of unique to the work that they're doing personally, all the way through, obviously, to our public testnet where we have multiple teams engaging. We have interactions from real users via Goerli. And then obviously mainnet is a very different thing. Mainnet is where the value is real, in my opinion. But the reason we use testnets, I mean, kind of as the name implies, it's really to find bugs, to find issues, and to fix things before they are deployed on a production system. And as a sort of function of your development process, you should expect kind of more stability, right? So right when an engineer is building the thing, obviously this thing doesn't work properly yet, up until the point where it's ready for review and ready to be integrated. But to Anton's point, right? Bugs are serious in crypto, and we all know that. So we've got a lot of thought about how do we de-risk the sort of code or the change as a function of its sort of migration from being an idea in someone's head to actually being deployed on zkSync mainnet. The public testnet for us is the sort of final real staging ground where the code should basically be representative of what we expect to be running in production, with the obvious caveat that it isn't the production system, and you can still catch things there. And also, it's the first time, excuse me, it's the first time where activity looks much more real. So people are doing things that are not, automated tests that you've designed or sort of manual smoke tests that the engineers might be performing themselves. You have people deploying their applications. You have much more diversity in terms of the smart contracts and the transactions and so on. So you find a much more representative environment for testing. I don't know if this is a good answer to your question, but at least for us, the Goerli testnet is it's a useful resource for us. Obviously, we hope to make it also a useful resource for the community, for development teams who want to deploy in zkSync too, of course. But it's not mainnet, right? It's a testing ground, and it's a place for us to find issues and to kind of model changes under much more realistic behavior before they're ready for deployment to Ethereum.
Awesome. Anton, from a security perspective, do you have any insight for difference between or anything to add about difference between testnet and mainnet?
Well, I think Anthony actually explained it quite well. The main difference is that testnet doesn't use real assets, so the cost of a mistake there is much lower, and we very much prefer to discover things in testnets.
Yeah, 100%. Okay, cool. I think that helps clear things up. A lot of users are like, one of my favorite questions is, how do I transfer my funds from Goerli to Ethereum? And if that was possible, I think a lot of people would be owning their own islands. So it's good to get that cleared up.
It is
Okay.
tricky. So I do think we are seeing people using Goerli to run activities that maybe would be better on mainnet. But I would argue like this is one of the tricky things about mainnet, right? Like when the price of using the system is so high, you have to find compromises that are able to support your activity economically. Hopefully,
Yeah.
this is one of the things that soon we'll be able to unlock with V2, right? A much cheaper execution environment on which people can deploy and build things.
Yeah. I think sometimes it helps for some people that have this mental model. And I don't know, this is kind of putting you on the spot, Anthony, but with your background in aerospace, do you have any mental models of something you compare what a mainnet and testnet are in potentially in aerospace?
It's an interesting question. I do think both industries think about risk the same way, right? At least, when a rocket company is thinking about the flight computer, like a change the software on the flight computer, a bug there can be pretty bad. And the question becomes like, how do you build a pipeline that robustly tests the change as a function of, again, that sort of like journey from an idea through to the thing being actually ready to be used in whatever environment it is considered production. I do think there's a lot of symmetries, and it's really about finding ways to incrementally increase the most sort of the realistic conditions on which you're testing the change. But again, then a lot of it I would also say comes down to just like strong engineering discipline, right? Have really robust code reviews, have the team really have that like adversarial check on each other's work, have good processes around documentation, have good processes around tests, and how you actually kind of, how does a change get into production? It needs to be extremely well vetted across multiple different dimensions, like automated, manual, and then there's no substitute, obviously, for things like testnet, right? You have a very realistic environment, almost like a simulation of mainnet, in my opinion. And there's a lot of parallels between how aerospace companies think about making change, because, of course, like bugs can be bad and expensive in every industry, but in some cases they're like outsized catastrophes for fucking up, frankly. We are obviously one of them in crypto, right? It's not many teams that are coming back from a 9-figure hack. And, we should also be humble, right? None of the teams that have been wrecked so badly really thought that was coming. And I'm sure that they all did their best to make sure it didn't land. And still, these systems are complex, it's everywhere. So we have to be paranoid and suspicious of our levels of comfort as well. And actually, feeling comfortable is a scary thing, because I think that's where you are most at risk sometimes, actually. And yeah, we should be very suspicious of comfort.
Perfectly said. 100%. Well, thank you very much for the explanation, tying that back to the aerospace. I think this really helps make things a little bit clearer for our community, what's coming up, what our design choices have been here, and the journey that has gotten us here. Do you guys have anything else that you'd like to say before we open up for some quick questions from the community?
I'm down to hear some questions. Anton, I don't know if there's anything from your side.
No, let's take the questions.
Cool. So I think one of them, and this is something that obviously comes up a lot, but one of the questions is, what is the uniqueness and differences from other projects and L2 solutions? I know that L2beat.com does a good job of giving out like a high level overview of those differences. I don't know if you guys want to, you probably have that stuck like right to go on the back of your hand, how to respond to that, if you want to briefly go over.
Anton, you want to jump in, or I'm happy to throw some thoughts out?
Well, I think I can take that if you like, of course. So I think in the philosophical level, there is a very important difference between zero knowledge rollups and any other rollup approach, in particular optimistic. Because zero knowledge rollup relies on cryptography, and this is the spirit of crypto area. You rely on cryptography and algorithms rather than on people, validators, or anything else, face of the moon. It doesn't matter what. Cryptography is the ultimate guarantee. I think this is the main thing behind zero knowledge cryptography. Is the thing that provides the security guarantees pretty much at the same level as layer 1 of Ethereum itself. This is the main difference in my opinion, and it's the key advantage of, and this is the reason why I am here and why I believe the future is actually bright for zero knowledge rollups.
Sweet.
If it's useful, I can also just add a few words like inside the zk space, because I think even inside just the zero knowledge heart, there's obviously multiple different teams, and each team I would say is taking a slightly different approach, probably substantially different if you like really get into the weeds, but of course you take a step back and these things will look very similar. I would say, yeah, for us, there's multiple different approaches. I really liked Vitalik's type framework that he presented for the types of zk EVM from type 1 through type 4. We've talked extensively about this. I'd probably try and cover it all now. Alex, our CEO, has given a really nice talk. I think it was at ETH also, where he talked about our approach in some detail, which in case anyone wants to go a layer deeper, I would recommend. But for us, I think the design decisions were really informed by zkSync version 1. So this is a zk rollup running in production, I think, for more than 2 years now. And the team learned a huge amount, particularly on the cryptography side, with respect to what works well in zk and what is harder. And yeah, I think the design decisions are based around how do we build a high performance virtual machine optimized for performance given provability in zk. And I think that's what I'm really excited about what we're doing relative to some other teams, but lots of really competent and talented teams in the space. So I do think competition pushes us all forward.
Great. Awesome. I think other than that, I haven't been able to check our Discord channel, mainly just checking out the YouTube chat stream. But it looks like most questions are about the T word. We're not we don't want to go down that rabbit hole. So I think from there, I'm not seeing any other major questions. So just want to say we appreciate both your time today. We are so excited for what's coming up next. And then, of course, to the community, anybody who has other further questions, you can reach out to us on our Discord, and we're happy to answer any of those. I know Anthony's always open for DMs on Twitter as well. So just let us know if you have any other questions. And thank you both for joining us again.
Cool. Thanks for having us. And yeah, thanks to the community for participating, and excited to see what happens next.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. Happy to be here as well.
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday, guys.
Bye, guys.
Bye. All right. So, and Anton, you're more than welcome to stick around with us if you want, or if you've got other things, you're more than welcome to drop off too.
No, I'll be dropping off. We're not
Okay.
live anymore?
Oh yeah, we're still live. We got some more to go
Okay.
over. Okay.
Gotcha. Yep. Cheers, everyone.
Ciao, ciao.
Bye, Anton.
Cheers. Okay, so Sisyphos, yes, we had some more stuff to cover, but I know we only have about 20-ish minutes or so far. I know we've got this special ETH Lisbon edition. Do we want to, how do we want to approach this? Do you want to do some, give us some insight to ETH Lisbon?
Let's do something. I'm gonna try to introduce and to grab some people from the team. I think we can have maybe a few people coming on the call and try to introduce some stuff. And
Nice.
take you around to see a few friends here from that are ETH Lisbon.
Okay.
I'm gonna try to get Hope behind Andre. Hope is the designer of Zeke the cat.
Yeah.
Come to the call. You're live with everyone. So Hope, do you want to introduce yourself a bit?
Hi. Can I hear you?
Yeah, they can hear
Yeah.
you.
I'm Hope. I work in operations for events. So I do all the fun stuff. I get to meet all of you guys. I get to come to places like this with the team, and I get to hang out with the coolest community leaders ever. The best and the greatest, the best. Yeah, nice to meet you all.
And it's worth mentioning again. Hope created Zeke.
Oh, wait.
And I think she's got
Oh.
music. So if you are on ETH Lisbon, just come up and you can grab a hat. There you
Ooh.
go.
Hello, Zeke.
So thank you very much.
Thanks, Hope.
Thank you. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah, well, everyone seems busy, so let me try to see if we can go talk a little bit to our friends from MetaMask. Let's see if they're here around. It seems like everyone is busy, so there are so many people here at ETH Lisbon. It's a bit hard to find. Oh, maybe we can just say, hey, some friends from Wallet Connect.
Yeah.
Hello, friends. We're live on YouTube. And
Hello.
so great to meet all of you. And yeah, have a fun second. Bye. So there are friends from Wallet Connect. Here we have people from Safe. Hello, everyone. Hello.
Hello.
Live on YouTube, the zkSync channel. It's so great to see you.
Safe team here at I guess the sign is behind, but there you go.
Ah, nice.
We're here at ETH Lisbon, excited to hack. Yeah, shout out zkSync.
What up? Amazing. Thank you very much. Happy hackathon.
You too.
So here we go. I think there is so many much more people. If you are in EEP Lisbon, of course, just come to our booth. We are happy to give you some hats with Zeke, and we are happy to to have a chat and also make sure that if you are again in Lisbon, you participate to the developer hangout together with the Redstone and also the opening party tonight.
Nice, nice. And yeah, I think I'm seeing that the microphone or your volume might be a little bit lower. So again, everybody, we apologize for the microphone difficulties this time around. Like I said, we'll get things better and better as we go along. Um,
Yeah.
uh, so cool. Well, thank you, Cisfos, for taking us around ETH Lisbon. Those of you who are not able to be there, I got a little insight and got to check things out. I think with the rest of our time, I'd love to review some of our community announcements and go through some of the things that had happened this week. It looks like we have 10 minutes left according to Zoom. They're kicking us out. So just quick major announcements. Thank you and congratulations to the community. We have reached 118,000 users on Discord and over 331,000 followers on Twitter, which is just wow. Thank you, everybody. This we've seen crazy cool growth, even just like the last 2, 3 weeks. So we just really appreciate all our newcomers, everybody who's joining, and hope that everybody can uh, join our Discord and get any questions answered that they have. Um, let me see here. Just a heads up, we are being because of so much of all the activity that we're seeing on Discord, we're actually starting to get rate limited. So if you are running into issues with selecting roles or doing different things on our Discord, you're going to see some delays just because there's so many people on at once. So it's like a tiny little pinhole, and everybody trying to get through that pinhole at once. So if it's not working at that moment, you can go back to it later and try it out again. As most of you have seen, we're testing out Crew 3. It's a platform where we can put up some fun little tasks to like interact with our Twitter or our community or wherever. And we just wanted to test this out and have a way to engage our community and have something another way for everybody to get involved. So it's pretty cool. It's fun so far to see. If you join our Discord and then follow us on Twitter, you get a role in our Discord, the zkSync Crew 3. But there have been some issues with accessing the website because so many people are going on at once. So again, just like the accessing the roles, just try back again later, and everything should be back up. And then again, thanks for all the suggestions about Link 3, Galaxy, and Guild. We're still doing research and looking into different things, so appreciate all the feedback from the community. Another quick reminder, just keeping things organized. We have new commands for those of you who are looking to step up. And for those of you who are who are looking to step up and help out in our community, there's some useful commands to be able to reply to these frequently asked questions much quicker. So, for example, people might ask like, "What's wrong with the faucet?" We have a command for that so that you can respond to that person without having to always type out that same message. So that's in our server tour channel. And another reminder, just quick, zkSync is the protocol, and projects are built on top of zkSync. So if you're having issues with one of the testnet apps on the testnet, you'll want to reach out directly to that team to get that support to help with that. Obviously, they'll have to come to us for the specific issue, but we don't know exactly what the issue regarding like a swap or a mint or whatever is happening in that background for that specific app. We have the testnet status channel for updates, so we will always update that with what the network status is for testnet, and we'll keep you posted there. And then a lot of people have been wondering what happened to my transactions. I'm missing some information in my transaction history. We had a regenesis earlier this week, so that explained that fresh balance and the transaction history reset. So just a FYI for anybody who is like, wait, where is everything? Let's see. Sisyphos, what do we think would be most important things? Should we just cover to join the mission and right
I
quick?
think that's yeah. I can quickly just go over the different projects that participated to join the mission 11. Quickly mention them. So if you follow our zkSync Twitter account, you've seen that we had relevant post about join the mission, in which we highlight a few partners that have decided to deploy on zkSync, a few projects that have decided to deploy on zkSync. And this week we had Block Wallet, a privacy first self-custodial wallet. We had Mean Square, which is an NFT marketplace, Automata Network, which is a free RPC relay that provides privacy protected request. Urgent again, which is uh, they always try to um, educate the community, provide very excellent quality of post. And today, well, this week they explain again account abstraction. Maybe I'll touch on that a bit later. Very informative if you want to learn about account abstraction. Why is it a game changer for the Ethereum community, for user adoption? It reduces the barrier to using a wallet. Uh, just go and read that article. We had a post also with OK Link, which is going to be another block explorer available that is already available on Mainnet, and they can integrate this. So zkSync. And finally, an article with Sushi. And I think that's all from our join the mission. I also invite you all to just go through our AMA with Steve, Anthony, and Ramon that took place on Thursday, and you can listen again. I think it covers most of the steps that were included in the launch of Baby Alpha, and also like some stuff to expect for the future. Feel free to go through our Twitter space and listen to that recording. That's it for
Nice.
join the mission. Mostly these projects. Please just check these articles. All of them are super interesting, and yeah, you can see them all on our Twitter.
Awesome. Great. Yeah, there's so much activity going on in the ecosystem. So it's hard to keep up. That's why we love to do these things. It sounds like, yeah, people are saying that we've got some mic problems. Let me test. Let me see here. Yeah, need better sound, mate. Yeah. We know. No sound. We have no sound. Their mic is not connected for YouTube. Hmm.
Was it me?
I don't know. Between the between some people asking the exact same question over and over, and then people saying check mic, please. No sound, no sound. Um, hmm. Everything should. I guess we will find out. Hopefully, most of the
Yeah.
main part of the conversation got there. Only one person have sound issue. Okay, mic no good. I don't know who it is. It's either you, me. Who
We'll
knows?
see. Hopefully, yeah. Hopefully,
Okay.
we're very sorry for that. We always try to yeah new tools, and here, um,
Yeah.
hopefully the microphone was not working fine, sir. Some people say. So
Okay.
let's hope you could hear it. We only have 2 minutes and a half left on Zoom.
Oh, okay.
We won't have time to cover much of the other stuff. We can just
No.
quickly wrap up. And
Yeah, what we'll do is we'll put the rest of the that we wanted to cover. We had an account abstraction tweet that we wanted to go over, a Blockworks research report on zkSync that we wanted to cover, and we'll put everything that we talked about today in the description of the YouTube video so that you can have links to everything that you need. And then just that roadmap reminder. Anthony had covered it at the beginning. Today is that launch of our Baby Alpha. This is where we do all the testing internally. That is just access for the zkSync and Matter Labs team to make sure that everything is running smoothly. And then we move into that fair launch alpha where we onboard the projects to be able to do their testing. And then it's full alpha for all users. So today is a historic and really cool moment, but it's not yet for users. But we'll have all the information and everything that you need to keep track and follow along what's going on Mainnet, hopefully shortly in the next few hours. So, um, yeah, I think it's it. In the last minute, we'll just say sayonara, everybody. It's great to see you again. Thank you so much for dealing with our. Oh, hello.
Ramon or Devrel?
Yeah.
ahead of your life.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So, so here, yeah. If you are in EEP Lisbon again, feel free to come at our booth. It's just below. The zkSync booth is there. Feel free to come and you can grab a Zik hat. We would be super happy to meet you. And thank you, all of you, for tuning in and for listening to that our very first live stream.
Woo! Live stream. All right. Well, everybody have a wonderful Friday and see you folks. Have fun in Ethan Lisbon.
Thank you very much. Have a great weekend and